in Richmond, London. Here's our hotel, Twins. No big deal. Nice little place. I'll go out for a walk. Looking out the window of the hotel. This is not my room. It's a common room that people use, but this is a typical site. You brought one of those disposable cameras, huh?
Yeah. That was just less of a headache.
Oh yeah.
Than trying to deal with the family camera.
Right.
We've really only got one.
You know, with the double-decker buses, the whole 9 yards. Chipper than this.
The climate was different, and I didn't recognize all the plants, but here I do. I can name most of them.
But up in Scotland, they have all the yards are rose gardens.
Yeah.
Huh? Better not. Why don't we say hi to all the people back home, right?
Hi, Heidi.
Yeah. And this is the house. All right. See you guys later. So which way to Kew Garden? All right, that's Richmond. Still in Kew. Still a shopping area. Yeah, that might be kind of fun to walk down there if you want.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Hang on, I'm gonna go there. Yeah.
Get a shot down the street here. Yeah, it's work out fine. Yeah, here we are at the Kew Garden gate. Get ready to start our journey into the gardens. As you can tell, it's a great day out here. We don't have any days like this in Great Britain. We are in one of the botanical garden greenhouses. I guess that's pretty obvious. We'll get a shot of Pat in the picture so he can. Here you go. So you can tell that's a huge place.
Big.
And it's big too. Some kind of concert going on this evening. I'm sure it'll be lovely.
That's the soundtrack that my program needed.
Yeah. Only the finest.
Only the finest backbeats.
It gives you a kind of a depth of field. Big glass house, as they call it, or one of them. And this one here is an exhibit for the evolution of plants. And walk over here to get another perspective of how big the glass house is. They said this is one of the best days they've had almost all year. It's been cold and overcast, no rain, as you can tell. The grass is all it keeps going. I believe so. So you can tell it's a huge garden. Yeah. Now we're in the Japanese gardens. The thing is, I haven't seen too many bugs. And then come back slowly. This is the next glass house. I believe it's called the Palm House, is it not, Pat?
I don't know, is that the Palm Fritz house? Palm house, huh?
As you can see, it's
out. The Palm House and Marine Display.
and then we scoop over here to the big glass house. I think Chris will like this shot with all the flowers.
Oh, yes.
Oh, it's pretty cool here.
Would you look at that gig of washing those windows coming up that
Oh,
the window?
I don't think so. My mother-in-law liked these pictures too. I kept telling her about this garden.
This is perfect.
It's a great day too. This is the best day.
It's like home.
Yeah.
So that's not necessarily the quality of student he's looking for, but it's enough butts in the seats that are as good a teacher as he is. If he can get a percentage of them serious,
Sure.
he'll turn it around a little.
These roses ought to come out good.
Oh, it's beautiful. The different colors are amazing.
That's okay. It makes it more real. Let's say they spend some time doing their gardening here.
Darn right.
Is that a good place?
Yeah, it's very famous. I haven't tried it. It's a very famous pub too. It's, I mean, you probably don't know much about rugby because it's not very big in America.
No, I know.
It is the kind of the big rugby pub, and you know all the kind of stars sort of go there.
Oh, really? Oh, no
anybody's
kidding.
anybody. You know, you got to go if you're in Richmond.
So is there a stadium or something nearby?
Yeah, Twickenham.
Oh.
Triple H there, home of British rugby.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, it's just, you can actually get a guided tour around it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they do all the sort of changing.
station.
No, it isn't, Mike. It's really Charing Cross.
No, it's Waterloo. Hey, Dan. We'll just ride all the way down and see what's at the end of it.
Yeah, be sure to get all of this, Mike.
I am. I'll wait till we get to the very bottom and scoop out. Yeah.
Right there, Mike.
Thank you, Dan. Big smile. The back of your head's very attractive. We just had a lovely beer there with Dan and the weird guy.
There's not much traffic now like there was a few minutes ago.
And it's obviously a little bit of theater district. These typical old English buses.
All right, get away.
All right.
Let's go to Wheeler's.
Okay.
It's like all see-through, you can see everything.
Are you? Yeah, I see it. Trafalgar Square now. The church behind the statue of St. Martin in the Field. The British Museum. I'm sorry, the British Art Gallery. British Gallery, National Gallery. As you can tell, there's not a great deal of space here. Hey! And this is it. It suits its purpose, but not the Ritz, that's for sure. But comfortable bed. You can see a typical old English hotel down to the street and so on. So we're going to the river for lunch. The River Thames.
Yes, it's just here.
Just had lunch here at the White Cross Hotel. It's really neat. Yeah. Nice garden in someone's backyard here by the river. Here in Kew. You can hear the airplanes taking off. There's Mr. Hurley there. Once again down by the river. Now you haven't been to Kew, have you?
Not the garden, no.
Oh.
It's much further away than I thought it was.
Not
I thought
really.
it was right there at that intersection.
Well, it's not too far to walk. I'm a pretty stable guy, you know. Here's the school we're teaching. Right inside of there, probably can't see it, where I'm teaching my class. Lovely little place, actually. Thursday meal.
Drinking our Thursday Guinness.
Yes, really. Outside one of the finer establishments closer to our teaching haunts. And here's the lovely cosmopolitan
The lovely
Dan Hurdy.
Danielle Hurley.
There he is. Notice the savoir-faire that is exuding from every pore.
Daniel Hurley, male impersonator. Do you wonder how I got my voice so low?
Well, I think we'll pass on that. Okay, there's Don Tuffin.
Oh, look at that, he's narrating.
And Robert, what's your last name?
The Scotsman with the paint.
The Scotsman. And who's this? Who's this?
My name's Bill Clinton.
There you go.
Oh, that's cool. That's got my picture.
What we got here? We'll document
I've talked
this.
about you many times to Jill, but she's never seen you.
Really?
That's really. I've never had a
Here we go. We're going to London. Ah, Colin. Huh? All right.
When hay was sold, all the horses in the street. In front of us we can see two of London's old established theatres across across on our left-hand side, with the columns outside, we can see the Theatre Royal Haymarket, and on our right we can see Majesty's Theatre, which has been the host to Andrew Lloyd Webber's Phantom of the Opera since 1986, and bookings are still being taken for many months ahead. The tall glass building on the right is the High Commission for New Zealand. And so we make a left turn now into Trafalgar Square, which we shall pass a few times on our tour of London today. The statue on our right is that of George III, the last monarch to rule the Americas. And also you can see on the right-hand side there the Texas Embassy Cantina. This was once the booking office for the Titanic. We shall be pausing outside the National Gallery for some passengers to leave the bus if they wish to, and for some new passengers to join us. The National Gallery
Right, there's the National Gallery, and right in front of it is St. Martin's
originally
Seal.
was founded with only 24 paintings. Today there are over 2,000 in the collection. Ian Barry's interiors for 24 hours from the time shown on it, and you can use the ticket at any time on any London Pride bus during that 24 hours, so please keep it safely. You'll need to show it if you reboard the bus. Buses always pick up at exactly the same place that you leave it, and please check with the driver for the times of later buses. Left-hand side there, these remind us that Pall Mall was the first London street to be lit by gas, and these were lit to celebrate George III's birthday in 1807. Some of these lamps, which we can see on the left here, are still kept in working order. And so we turn away from St James's Palace into St James's Street, and if we look to our right-hand side, we can see the old shop of wine importers, Merry Brothers and Rudd, dated 1699, and also Lock & Company, who have been hatters on this site since 1676. As we make our way along St James's Street, it's interesting to note that this is the home of many famous gentlemen's clubs. As might be guessed, this is where for over 200 years gentlemen have joined to socialise and drink. Got its name from the Piccadilly collars. These were fancy lace collars which were sold along this street 300 years ago and worn by Elizabethan men to keep their shirts clean. Immediately on our left-hand side we can see the Ritz Hotel, one of London's 5-star hotels and London's first steel-framed building. When it opened in 1906, rooms were £1 guinea a night. That's just over £1. It was the most expensive in town. And if you've ever heard about afternoon tea at the Ritz, well, this is the place where you have to come and take it, and it will cost you about £33 for two. And if you fancy afternoon tea or just a walk in Green Park, here is the stop now for Green Park and the Ritz Hotel. If you're leaving the bus here, please keep your ticket with you. We look forward to seeing you later on. We shall be able to see paintings and souvenirs on sale, and this is an example of legal street trading here in London. Do be aware, however, of unlicensed traders offering you any items to buy in London. Much of it is of poor quality and might even be stolen. Now it houses the Wellington Museum, which is open to the public. And as we make our way around Hyde Park Corner, if we look across to the centre of the island, we can see the Wellington Arch, named after the Duke of Wellington himself. And as for those columns which you can see at the Wellington Arch, they're hollow, and they act as chimneys for the traffic fumes from the underpass below. Gardens across on the right-hand side are still looked after by the staff of the French Embassy. And this is Victoria, a light here for Buckingham Palace. Of the fast train service to London's Gatwick Airport.
the station.
And the 1902 coach which carried both Prince Charles and Prince Andrew from their respective weddings with their new wives.
Yeah.
Next on our left-hand side is the Queen's Gallery, the only part of Buckingham Palace permanently open to the public. Besides the collection of paintings and drawings, you'll love the gift shop. We rely on our London Pride driver to do the best he can, but we must tell you that tourist coaches, buses like this, and other heavy vehicles are not allowed inside the royal parks. Keep a close eye then on the left-hand side for Buckingham Palace. The Queen lives in a corner of the palace on the first floor, and many other members of her family have offices or rooms there also. It also boasts a cinema and a swimming pool. During the summer, the Queen holds a series of garden parties in the grounds of the palace where she and other members of the royal family can meet people from all walks of life. And I'm still waiting for my invitation. And his shrine is inside. Perhaps one of the most popular places for visitors to come to in London, and inside you will find tombs and statues of writers, poets and statesmen. Every sovereign subsequently has been crowned here, with the exception of Edward V and Edward VIII. And you too can enter Westminster Abbey and experience for yourself this magnificent church. The last coronation was for Queen Elizabeth II and lasted for 4 hours. It was relatively trouble-free. Not so for William I, who when he heard the cheering outside thought there was a rebellion, for Richard II, who lost a shoe, George IV, who nearly passed out from the heat, and Edward VII, who very nearly gained his crown back to front. If you'd like to look at Westminster Abbey, you should leave at the next stop. Keep your ticket safely, and when you're ready, another London Pride tour bus will pick you up directly from the bus stop where we let you off. Please check with the driver for times. And if we look now to our left-hand side, we can see the Houses of Parliament with the twin debating chambers of the House of Commons and the House of Lords at the Palace of Westminster. Here the great affairs of state are debated and decided upon, and this particular building was designed by Sir Charles Barry, with detailed drawings by Augustus Puget. It was opened by Queen Victoria in 1852 and covers an area of 8 acres. There are 11 courtyards, 100 staircases, and over 1,000 rooms, all connected by 2 miles of passageways. And indeed, the riverside facade, which we can see there now, is 940 feet long. The square tower at this end of the building is the Victoria Tower. It's the tallest Gothic tower in the world. And if there's a flag flying there, then we know that the House of Commons is sitting. At night, there would also be a light at the top of Big Ben, which is the clock tower we can see at the other end of the building, and we shall be a little closer to that later on in the tour. Directly ahead of us we can see on the other side of the roundabout the red brick building there, which is Lambeth Palace, the official residence of the Archbishop of Canterbury, and has been since 1207. Next to Lambeth Palace, the church we can see is St Stephen's Tower, but I've never met a Londoner or a visitor that's called it anything else but Big Ben. Big Ben, in fact, is the name of the bell inside, and it chimes 4 times every hour from its place 300 feet above London's traffic. The construction of Big Ben was a tale of disasters. Charles Barry, the designer of the Houses of Parliament, wanted the world's biggest clock, 316 feet high above London. The royal astronomer demanded exceptional accuracy, but when it was finished, the tower wasn't ready. The bell was cast in Stockton-upon-Tees in the north of England and delivered by boat, but the sound of the chimes was awful. They doubled the weight of the clapper, and that cracked the bell. The bell was then cast here in Whitechapel in London. The hands of the clock were made of cast iron, and the clock mechanism was not powerful enough to move them properly, so they had to be remade in gunmetal. Even then, the larger hand used to fall quickly past the hour. Eventually, a third pair of hands was made of hollow metal, and they work very well today. Directly ahead of us there is a small church on the corner of the square, which is St Margaret's of Westminster, dating from 1523. Married at St Margaret's were Milton, Pepys and Winston Churchill, for this is the parish church of the House of Commons. Behind St Margaret's we can see the very much larger church, which is Westminster Abbey. Very shortly we shall arrive at Whitehall. Light at Whitehall for Downing Street, the Cenotaph and the Cabinet War Rooms. A remembrance service is held here. Her Majesty the Queen, leading statesmen and ordinary men and women come to pay their respects. The Prime Minister doesn't have to come very far. He lives at Downing Street, which is the next turning on the left-hand side. Originally just a quiet cul-de-sac, modern security conditions have led to high gates and railings at the entrance and a sunken barrier further down the street. The Prime Minister lives at number 10 Downing Street. You can't get any further than the railings unless you're on official business. And he lives next door to the Chancellor of the Exchequer, who lives at number 11 Downing Street. As we make our way along Whitehall, we're passing important government buildings on both sides. The large white building to our right is the Ministry of Defence. Shortly we shall be stopping at Horse Guards Parade. Alight here for Horse Guards Parade, which is on our left. During the day, the guard is... And in the centre of the road, we can see the Temple Bar Monument. This marks our entry into the City of London. The City of London is the 1 square mile, which is the oldest part of the capital, the focal point for trade, banking and business. It has its own police force, its own local government, and even its own Lord Mayor. The first street in the city we're travelling along is Fleet Street, once the home of the daily and Sunday newspapers of Great Britain. But now new technology has forced the move into outer London areas, and in particular to the revitalised London Docklands. This has left behind in Fleet Street a tradition of printing in this area. Directly ahead of us we can see the dome of St Paul's Cathedral. We shall be stopping outside St Paul's Cathedral. This magnificent cathedral took 35 years to build, based on St Peter's. And also our service number 1 for attractions, 2 for museums and 4 for Docklands. You can spend your entire day exploring the heart of London and all its famous attractions on a London Pride double-decker bus. At the Bank of England Museum, open Mondays to Fridays only at 10 AM and free to get in. As we make our way along King William Street, we're in the very heart of the banking area of London. Close by there are banks from every part of the world, making London the main world centre for banking. The Bank of England alone has 2.25 million accounts, and you'll be familiar with the banking name. And it's been carrying traffic for 100 years. Tower Bridge is the one that opens in the middle. The entire roadway and pavements open to allow tall ships to pass underneath. You also have a wonderful view of HMS Belfast moored here in the Pool of London. She is the last surviving cruiser intact from World War II and was built in 19...
It's the Tower of London over there.
making our way onto Tower Bridge itself and see how much bigger it seems now than from London Bridge, where we saw it a few minutes ago. Tower Bridge was opened in 1894 and powered by hydraulics. Now completely electric, the whole centre sections, roadway and pavement, open to allow tall ships to pass through. It cost over £1 million to build, and John Wolfe Barry designed it. 140 kilometres is the old Tower Bridge footway, which was closed in 1909, but which is now open again as part of the Tower Bridge Museum. The history of the construction and operation of the bridge is told, and there are some superb views of London. If we look down to our left, we can see on the riverfront the Traitors' Gate to the Tower of London. This is where many who were due to be executed at the Tower were brought, by boat, on their final journey. This crossing of the River Thames is the last place where traffic can cross the river in this direction by bridge. East of here, all some crossing done by ferry or by tunnel. Beyond here to our right is the thriving London Docklands, the Thames Flood Barrier and Greenwich. The Tower of London, which we shall see on our left, has been a fortress, a prison, a mint, a zoo and a royal residence. It is the oldest continuously occupied fortress in Europe. In the centre we can see the White Tower, which is the oldest part of the Tower of London, dating from 1078, where it dominated the surrounding area. Later kings added to the tower, principally Henry III, number 2 for museums and number 4 for Docklands. You can visit all of the major London attractions by using your London Prime bus with a ticket that you already have. What is now Great Britain's tallest building, that of Canary Wharf, in the London Docklands area.
Piccadilly. Follow this bus.
Our next stop is the Town Square, a light of the next stop and explore this area. London.
Hey Dan. No. Stay on the bus.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're making our way into London Pride's major interchange here in the heart of London's West End, in London's Coventry Street near Leicester Square. Leicester Square is famous for the British film industry, but also for the famous nightclubs and nightlife in this part of the West End. We'll be pulling up in Coventry Street near to the main entrance, also to the Trocadero.
Now, obviously in Chinatown. Wait a minute, Dan. Let me get over there.